They first noticed it during the spring thaw, not the smell, but the silence, because the royal court of Valamir had never been quiet, not during famine, not during plague, not during war. Yet that morning, as frost withdrew from the palace gardens and pale light filtered through cathedral glass, something had shifted. Servants moved as though watched. Courtiers lowered their voices without knowing why. Musicians in the West Gallery left their instruments untouched, and at the center of this unnatural stillness was an absence no one dared name aloud. The princess had not been seen in 13 days, which in another season would have meant little. Royal daughters were often hidden away for prayer, instruction, negotiation, or recovery. But 13 days without a balcony appearance, without chapel attendance, without even a glimpse of her silhouette behind embroidered curtains, was enough to unsettle even the most disciplined noble. And then the rumor surfaced, not from a minister or lady-in-waiting, but from a stable boy who claimed the horses had refused to pass the eastern tower at dawn, their bodies trembling, their breath sharp in the cold, their instincts rebelling against something unseen. Animals always know first, the old gardener muttered, and the eastern tower had been sealed since winter under the polite excuse of renovation, though everyone remembered how abruptly Princess Elowen had withdrawn there after her 21st name-day feast, a celebration that ended the moment a foreign envoy collapsed mid-toast. He survived yet departed before sunrise, and no one spoke of it again. And from that night forward, the princess did not return to her former chambers. Whispers began to coil through corridors when Lady Marith, the court herbalist, quietly informed the chancellor that the air near the eastern stairwell had grown heavy, layered with something organic. He dismissed her, yet ordered incense burned in the southern halls. But incense cannot silence what lingers beneath stone. And within days, a laundress fainted at the base of the tower, insisting she smelled turned earth. Not fresh soil, but something long sealed and disturbed. The king refused panic, declaring his daughter unwell and in need of privacy, forbidding physicians' entry, and forbidding even her name spoken in open court. And when a monarch forbids a name, it is because that name carries weight beyond affection. By the 4th week, the scent could no longer be disguised. It drifted softly yet persistently, like forgotten fruit in a cellar or flowers left in unmoving water. Guards requested reassignment. One confessed to dreams of narrowing corridors and walls that seemed to breathe. He disappeared from record without punishment or explanation. And the palace archivist, Torin, discovered something more disturbing than scent. He found absence in ink, the princess's baptism record excised with surgical precision. Her mother's pregnancy documentation removed, entire pages cut, cleanly from ledgers as though someone had edited history itself. And when Torin confided in Lady Marith, they traced a pattern older than any living courtier. Nearly every century, a royal daughter was secluded within the Eastern Tower. Officially ill, unofficially erased. No burial announced, no marriage arranged, no grave marked. Simply absence followed by the tower being sealed for renovation. And as the smell crept into the chapel, the high priest confessed it did not feel like decay, but interruption, something unfinished pressing through air. Then at night, the tower windows opened without explanation. Candlelight flickered behind glass, and shadows moved in deliberate silence. One guard swore he saw the princess gazing downward into the courtyard, not as a captive, but as a watcher, and Lady Marith at last secured permission to enter alone, finding the chamber colder than spring allowed, the air thick but not foul, layered as though sweetness lay beneath the surface. The princess sat upright, pale yet luminous, her pulse steady, her voice calm as she acknowledged the scent before Marith spoke, claiming it did not come from her but from beneath, and when Marith pressed her ear to the stone floor, she heard a low, resonant hum that seemed to answer her presence. Excavation beneath the tower revealed a circular chamber older than the palace, carved with symbols in no known script, and at its center a hollow basin, dry yet marked with mineral traces, suggesting something once preserved there, not destroyed but kept. And a surviving fragment of an ancient ledger described a rite enacted when the kingdom faltered. A royal daughter would be kept within the tower's foundation until the scent returned. The scent signaled imbalance, and her presence restored order. The Queen Dowager did not deny this history, merely stating that every kingdom feeds itself differently. Yet after the chamber was opened, the odor intensified, spreading beyond palace walls into the city. Fatigue gripped courtiers' alliances, strained animals avoided the grounds, while Princess Elowyn grew stronger. Her eyes brighter, her posture firmer, as though nourished by what weakened others, and the hum beneath the foundation began pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. And when Lady Marith confronted her, the princess asked only whether they remembered what she was, and the wind shifted, carrying the scent into the streets, where citizens lit candles in warning, because a nearly erased chronicle recorded that the last time the air carried this weight, the kingdom did not collapse but transformed, and transformation rarely arrives with mercy. It arrives quietly, first through silence, then through scent, then through the slow realization that what was hidden beneath stone was never meant to remain buried. And as the court tightened its circle of denial, the princess continued watching from the eastern tower window, not imprisoned, but patient, as though waiting for something beneath the palace to fully awaken.